Hello again, everybody. Welcome back to Enjoy English School. I'm Bruce.
I'm Anthony.
Today and tomorrow, we have a two-day lesson in our celebrations category for the month. To celebrate as a verb is to have a great time doing something, like for the Lunar New Year here in Taiwan. People do all kinds of wonderful things. They celebrate the holiday. So we look around the world because we know what we do here, and most people know what Americans do. But there are many groups of people in the world, and some of them celebrate things we're not familiar with, and we'd like to share their celebrations with you.
没错，所以在全球节庆这个单元呢，我们就是要去了解到其他人世界各地的其他地方，他们是什么庆祝的，然后庆祝一些不同的主题啦，也许是我们没有经历过的，或者是类似的东西，我们赶快来看看今天要庆祝什么咯。
Well, the celebration we are talking about today and tomorrow does take place in America, but even many Americans don't know very much about it. It's called the Burning Man, and that the celebration is the Burning Man, and our two-day topic is entitled Burning Man Turning Dreams into Reality.
然后从中文这边我们可以看到是什么火人祭，将梦境幻化成现实。在这边的话，老师刚刚前面有提到说，其实虽然是在美国的这个庆典哦，但是不是所有的美国人都知道这个庆典的。那我们现在来了解一下这个火人祭到底在做什么。
Burning Man, Turning Dreams into Reality. In 1986, Larry Harvey and his friend Jerry James created the first ever Burning Man party on a beach in San Francisco. To end the party, they burned an 8-foot-tall wooden statue of a man on the summer solstice. In 2019, around 78,000 people experienced the craziness of the Burning Man party in the middle of the Black Rock Desert. There, they watched a giant man burn to the ground on the final day of the event. Nowadays, Burning Man has become one of the most famous festivals in the world. It has a different theme each year. However, people can't go to Burning Man and just sit in a corner and take pictures. Instead, participation is required. The focus of Burning Man includes community and artwork. There is no internet or money for the week-long party. To survive, people have to trade what they bring to the desert with others. In 2004, Larry Harvey wrote up the 10 principles of Burning Man. He said, however, that they are not rules to live by, but a reflection of the community's beliefs and culture.
Okay, let's get busy. We've got a lot to cover today and tomorrow, two-day lesson. In 1986, Larry Harvey and his friend Jerry James created the first ever Burning Man party on a beach in San Francisco. Well, if it's weird, strange, unusual, it probably started in San Francisco.
Wow.
If not in San Francisco, then New York.
Okay.
These two cities are famous for being very creative. Even if you don't like what they do, a lot of very talented and creative people live in those two cities. 1986 is already a few decades ago. Two friends, Larry Harvey and Jerry James, if you create something, you do it for the first time. And they had this idea of Burning Man party, which we will describe in more detail later. And the first one took place on a beach because San Francisco is a port city. And in fact, San Francisco City is on a peninsula that goes into the Bay Area of San Francisco. And they just decided to do something strange and wonderful and have fun. And we'll describe that in a moment.
Yeah， 老师刚刚呢用到一个字 peninsula， 就是指半岛的意思，好，可能要很像是这是一个完整的大陆，然后生出一个这个半岛的感觉 ，OK， 好，所以说今天你看到这个第一段的第一句话，他说了，在1986年的时候 ，Larry Harvey and his friend Jerry James 两个人呢 created the first ever Burning Man party。On a beach in San Francisco， 老师刚刚讲了一个很好玩的，就是说，如果你发现到说有任何奇怪的、莫名其妙的一些活动啊东西，往往不是发源于 San Francisco 旧金山呢，就是发源于纽约，因为他那边住了一堆很有创意的怪人。好，他这样，所以他就讲到说了
，Hey, I'm from New York。
哦，对啊，老师等于是自己自嘲一番哦，好，所以他就说，当时呢，他们这两个人就在这个旧金山的海滩上面创造了第一个火人祭。也就是我们今天要讲的主题。
Okay, so they held a party on a beach in San Francisco. To end the party, to finish the party, they burned an 8-foot tall, that's almost 3 meters, wooden statue of a man, and it happened on the summer solstice, which is on or about June 21st. Don't ask me why or how they thought of this, but a statue is something anybody could build, and they decided to burn it for some reason on the first day of summer.
啊，所以说这边的话也告诉你说啦，为了在这个 party 里面有个完美的高潮的终结呢 ，to end the party 怎么样 ？They burn an 8-foot tall wooden statue。好，他们呢有一个这个很高的8尺，老师刚刚讲说差不多。接近3米高，好，差不多3米高的这种 wooden statue 这种木雕 of a man， 好，然后呢，他就把它烧了 on the summer solstice， 就是在夏至，也就是6月21号的时候，决定哇把它烧了，然后这样哇庆祝夏天这样子。
In 2019, so for 33 years later, after the first time, around 78,000 people experienced the craziness of the Burning Man party, but not on a beach in San Francisco in the middle of the Black Rock Desert. I had no idea. I'd never heard of this before. I had to look it up. It's not in California, but it's not far away either. It's in the desert state of Nevada. In fact, I've probably been through that area because I've been in Nevada and California when I was a young man, and just to see and experience America. And so when it started, it was just a group of friends burning a wooden statue of a man on a beach, and then 30 years later or so, tens of thousands of people came together in a desert. This desert there are no cities nearby at all. This is way out in the mountainous desert area of Nevada.
没错没错，后来我也去查了一下，它这个地方啊，它叫黑岩沙漠，哈，它是在内华达州，真的好，旁边看着感觉像鸟不生蛋的一个鬼地方哎。然后他们呢讲说，原本只是那个几个年轻人，他们想出来一个创意，到了2019年的时候呢，好，差不多有78000人，好，就去享受这种 Burning Man 火人祭。那地点呢是在 Black Rock Desert， 好，就是黑岩沙漠，是在内华达州那边，大家开着车啊过去感受这种火人祭的氛围。
There, meaning of course in the Black Rock Desert, they watched a giant man. So why are we using
quotation
marks around it? We're not quoting somebody. When we use this, they can be used for different reasons. Here it is as though it were, not actually, but similar to or supposed to be like, this kind of idea. Is in quotation marks because it's not a real man, for God's sake. You're not going to burn him. We haven't done that in hundreds of years.
No.
People don't do that anymore, thank God. So it's not a real man, but it's a statue of a man. And this was on the final day of the event. this is not a one-day party. This lasts several days. And at the conclusion or at the end of the party, I'll give you an example of this in a moment, they burn this giant statue. It's like New Year's Eve in the United States, in New York City. The ball comes down and everyone expects that. That is the sign or symbol that something begins or something finishes.
没错，没错，我想到的也是那个例子啊。老师提到说是在那种在倒数的时候，那种 Times Square， 他们有一个很大很大的一颗球，它慢慢往下降，然后降到最底下的时候，刚好就是新年的开始，然后大家就会有点像是一年完美的结束这种感觉。那在这边这句话里头 ，There 在那个地方，在黑岩沙漠那里呢 ，They watched a giant man。这边 man 当然不是指真人啦，老师刚才讲说，我们有好几百年没有烧真人了，以前的话可能烧女巫啊。那种情况下还是有的嘛，还好现在没有烧。他说 watch a giant man 其实是木头人，对不对？ burn to the ground on the final day of the event， 在这个整个庆典最后一天的时候，他们会用烧木人的方式画下完美的句点。
I should have made clear here. Burn to the ground means completely. Sometimes a house may catch on fire and part of it is destroyed, but if you burn to the ground, there is nothing left, just ashes.
烧个精光那种感觉。
Okay, that's it for the first paragraph. Let's take a short break. We'll be back with more about the Burning Man. Okay, let's get busy with our second and final paragraph for today, day 1. We have a lot more about this for you tomorrow. Nowadays, these days is another way to say that. Burning Man has become one of the most famous festivals in the world, at least among younger people who like to do fun and crazy things.
OK， 他说 nowadays 时至今日呢，好，如果说有的时候你会看到类似像 these days。好 ，these days 也是有常常会用到的一个用法，就是到了现在怎么样 ？Burning Man has become one of the most famous festivals in the world。好，现在这个火人祭呢，已经变成全世界上数一数二知名的这样子的一个节庆喽。
If you have some American friends, and if they're young enough, I'm sure they've heard about this. I had heard about it a long time ago, but I've never been to a Burning Man festival because it's so far away from Taiwan.
Yeah.
I've lived in Taiwan all this time. And it sounds like some fun, and we'll find out it's not just that people show up and do something and leave. This is not like a rock concert, a rock and roll concert. We'll give you a lot more details about this and why it attracts so many people. It has a different theme each year, so it's not exactly the same purpose each year. The reason they call it the Burning Man Festival is like that ball for New Year's Eve. You can expect that, but there may be other entertainment that you never saw before. People will do things or something will happen in a crowd that is not planned or is planned but is a surprise. So in a Burning Man festival, the only thing you can be sure about is they will burn a wooden statue of a man at the end of the festival.
没错，所以在这边他就说 it has a different theme each year， 就是每年它的主题都不一样。所以说到后来有的时候可能是没有预期的，大家灵机发挥，然后或者是呢有一点预期，但是是一种惊喜。那不管怎么样，你只能知道一件事，就是说它到最后一定会烧掉一个这个很大很大的火人。
However, people can't go to Burning Man and just sit in a corner and take pictures. This suggests you have to be very, very active. You have to participate, be a part of this big festival. You have to do things.
没错，你不能说来了只是在拍照打卡休息，没有这回事。你必须要认真的、全心的参与这里面的一些活动。他就告诉你说 ，However, people can't go to Burning Man and just sit in the corner 啊，坐在角落啦 ，and take pictures 打打卡、拍拍照，不行，不可以这样。那要怎么样呢？他就告诉你了。
as he just said, instead, not that, but this, participation is required. I think I mentioned that. You have to participate. You have to do things, join in the festival.
呀，所以说要告诉你说，参与是非常非常重要的一环，你必须要这么做。Something is required. That means you have to do it. 你必须要这么做，必须要全心的参与。
The focus of Burning Man, focus has a lot of different meanings. To me, here I would say purpose or 口语, so point. What's your point? What's the main idea here? Includes community. That is, people gathering and doing things together. And artwork, as you might expect from San Francisco or New York. There's a great emphasis, there's a great focus on being creative and doing things together.
没错，那告诉你说，真正的重点，这边的 focus 可以把它代换成 point 或者 purpose 都可以哦。好了，这个火人祭的重点呢 ，includes community and artwork， 它是包含了社群，大家一起来共同完成的事情，还有艺术品这两个重心所在。
Okay, this will stop many young people from going to the Burning Man Festival. There is no internet. Leave your computer at home. Besides, can you get internet from a satellite?
I don't know. Maybe not.
This desert is hundreds of miles from, there are no cities anywhere near this place. So if you're out there, you better be prepared. There are no stores, so you have to bring everything that you think that you will need. And it takes a week. It's a week-long party. We'll talk about that in a moment. So for 1 week, you will have to bring enough food and water, anything else you might need during a week, but don't take your laptop.
呀，不可以带你的这个电脑啊，也没有什么网络可以让你上网看 Netflix 都不行哦。而且 or money， 好，你也都没，这附近也都没有什么商店，所以该带什么，你需要用到什么就自己带齐，这样子度过1周的这种节庆。
You might think, well, what do you mean? If I don't bring money, how can I get things? Well, this is how you will. To survive, people have to trade what they bring to the desert with others. Fabulous idea. No money. You cannot take money. You cannot earn it. You cannot spend it. You have to trade. So you're going to bring things, not just for yourself, but additional things that you might be able. Grape juice. You have this big thing of grape juice. I'd like a couple glasses, please. And I made these scarves for winter from wool from sheep that we raise on our farm. And so let's trade. It forces people to communicate and to participate with each other.
真的有那种以物易物的那种感觉，对不对？哈，就变成是说，哎，这是我家的羊毛啊，织的这个 scarf 或什么之类的，我跟你换一些这个苹果汁啊、柳橙汁啊，或者是葡萄汁啊等等，来换的这个东西，那人跟人之间的交流跟沟通，还有社群感就建立起来了。
To survive, people have to trade. That's the point here. So trade can be a noun or a verb. We have used it as a verb here. And it is a desert, so it would take you many, many, many hours of driving. There's no airport. There's no train station. There's no MRT.
Yeah, that's right.
You are out there, so you better be prepared. Now, in 2004, Larry Harvey wrote up the 10 principles of Burning Man. After all these years of having the party, they decided to have principles are the basic reasons that you do something or the basic requirements or the purpose of something. He decided, and probably with his friends, let's make, from the Bible there were the 10 commandments. Well, they're going to have the 10 principles of the Burning Man Festival.
呀，没错，老师刚刚提到的那个 Ten Commandments 就是那个圣经里面的旧约的十诫 ，OK 好，但这边的话没有那么严重，他就是跟他朋友想说啊，我们有10个 principles， 好，10个原则，10项原则，参加火人祭的必须要知道的10项原则。
He said, however, he is Larry Harvey, that they are not rules to live by. It's not so serious, but they're things to consider, but a reflection of the community's beliefs and culture. So they have their own reasons for doing things. They like to share. They think trade might be a better idea than money, at least sometimes, and to tune out of the electronic computerized world.
To tune out 就是让这些东西不要去理它，忽略掉。好，如果说今天旁边有一个人很吵，就要 just tune him out， 就是不要去管它，不要去理会它，先把一些日常生活中的一些电子啊设备产品去掉，直接去感受人跟人之间的相处，这是它的核心哦。所以甚至上我自己还去查了一下它的一些这个10大原则里面，其实有一些还蛮不错的，像社区精神啦，或是积极参与啦，或者是无私的馈赠。极致的包容等等，都是在去强调人跟人之间的连结。
Okay, we have finished with the text for today, day 2, tomorrow. Let's take just a breather, a short break, and we'll come back and review the more important vocabulary from today's lesson. Okay, vocabulary item number 1, create, is to make or build something, usually for the first time.
去创造什么事情。
Number 2, wooden, wood, you know. If we add en, it becomes an adjective, a wooden table.
像是这个木桌嘛，木质的，就可以用 wooden 这个字来表达。
Number 3 is a phrase, and I spent a little time on this earlier. Burn to the ground means burned completely 100%.
烧个精光那种感觉。
Number 4, focus can be used as a noun or a verb, and that is the point of something or the principle or the purpose of something.
就是什么事情的重点。
Number 5 is a phrase you want to learn this order, to trade something with somebody. I'll give you a scarf for your grape juice.
呀，没错，就是用什么东西跟人家交换。
Number 6 is principle, and that is the moral reason that we do things.
Principle 就是原则，它是一个名词。
Number 7, live by is to live in a way where you follow some idea or principles.
就是遵照什么样子的原则方式去做事情。
And number 8, belief is the noun form of believe. So it's something you focus on and you don't necessarily know it's a fact, but you will still follow some principle.
就是你的信念，你相信的事物。
All right, that's it for day 1. Again and again, I will remind you, please join us again tomorrow, and we have some more interesting things about this interesting festival. Until then,
bye-bye.